Grand Rising, everyone. I hope you all are doing good and feeling great today. Today, I want to give you all some true knowledge that you can't learn in college. And that's the difference between slavery and captivity. First and foremost, the time has been changed and manipulated. It's not actually 12 months in a year. And many of you might already have known that. They also added 1,000 years in real history of time. So you have to take off the one when you're talking about the 1800s. So on 863, around that time in so-called 1863, which was really 863, that would be at that time the 5th millennium. So basically, there wasn't no 1700s or 1800s. That was a lie. So, but since we're going by the years with the one added on it, I'm gonna just say so-called. So from so-called 1492 to 1892, that was our 400 years of captivity. See, in so-called 1863, they let those demons out from the world fairs. All this stuff I'm going to show you right here was all Black Wall Streets. So we couldn't have been that established and successful and still be slaves at the same time. So you got to ask yourself, did the scripture say 400 years of captivity, or did the scripture say 400 years of slavery? Please let me know in the comment section your answer to that. See, they poison our minds with nothing but lies. I call it the Great Deception. It's the biggest robbery and genocide in human existence. This country was infiltrated in so-called 1492 when they first arrived here, all the way to so-called 1863 when they brought all them demons to this country off them orphan trains. From so-called 1854 to so-called 1863, we had to civilize them because they were uncivil. They were nasty, they were dirty, they were just uncivil. That's the best word to use. So from so-called 1863 to going into the so-called world wars in the early so-called 1900s to 1945 was the final touch to the infiltration of this land. Many of our so-called Black American soldiers were handed over. This is hidden information you will never know. Nobody will never tell you this, unless they did the research. But our so-called Black American soldiers were handed over to the enemy in the so-called world wars. This was all designed and set up like this. So while they were fighting a war that they weren't supposed to be fighting, because it was all a setup, right? While they're being lined up and tricked out of their legacy in life, our people here was being viciously attacked and dehumanized by the 7 European tribes, along with some of our allies. The children of the dragon also got some knowledge that you can't learn in college as well, based on real math and science that was stolen from our ancient ancestors. They invaded our towns and caused mayhem on our people, taking their homes, their image as well. as far as like names. They took our names, they took our clothes, and many more insane events that occurred. Now, it's basically like they gave us their dead identity, and we still have their dead identity today, and they have our free identity today, basically. So they just switched positions. Black people, along with these demons, they switched positions. So I just want to hope y'all should understand that. But they utilize weather warfare as well. In those so-called black people towns, they utilize weather warfare such as floods, fires, etc. Things that people may have thought was natural disasters were actually organized disasters. That's weather warfare. Our people was forced to check into convict leasing camps to become slaves because they was robbed or driven. Maybe I should say they was labeled insane. And from then to now, nothing has changed. They are still doing the same tactics or antics, or however you want to look at it. They still doing the same thing to us today. The whole point of this video is to let you all know that there's a difference between slavery and captivity. And our ancestors wasn't no slaves. Us as so-called black Americans, we come from a very intelligent, rich legacy. Intelligent, rich history. Why do you think they came here to the original Holy Land in the first place? Why was it here? Why did this place have to be called America and no other place? It's a reason for that. You know what I mean? So lastly, I just want to say I'm not interested in any holiday the federal government gives us, especially like, well, I'm not interested in any of them, but the ones they give us personally, like Black History Month or Juneteenth, I'm not interested in that. That is not nothing to go celebrate, because for one, it's a lie. It's a lie. We're not free. None of us have never been free within the last 400, 500 years. And the only free people, everybody that's non-black, is the free people. You're in captivity. So, and ultimately it's just disrespectful on the highest level. It's like they keep playing with us. And out of ignorance, we fall for it. A lot of our people fall for it out of ignorance. So I'm not even mad at our people, but I am here to wake up the mind. And it is frustrating to see our people fall for, these antics. But you must understand what their job is. Their job is to keep us black, which is dead and colorable civil law, and to keep us ignorant of the truth. Because once you learn the truth, you won't be able to unlearn it. And that's when the difference comes in. That's when the counter moves and us moving different. That's when that takes place. But one day I'll soon do a live stream so we can break down a lot of this hidden history. Y'all stay safe out there. All praise to the Most High. The Truth Report has adjourned.